Hi, this is Dr. Teresa Dale and Mark Allen with Natural Health Radio. Welcome. We are so happy that you're joining us today, and we're going to be discussing all kinds of interesting things that maybe you haven't heard of yet, maybe it's new, and maybe there's going to be some secrets. I know Mark must have plenty of secrets.
I do have plenty of secrets, and I'm going to share your secrets for health, good health, and healthy living here on Natural Health Radio. The population is aging. We're turning gray. That's what they say. And as America and the world ages, there are more people, I think, over 50 or 60 than anybody else, more baby boomers than anybody else. We keep hearing about more centurions, people who have hit 100 years old, than ever before in our history. And I think I've said for years that what I'd like to do is I'd like to live to be 120, 118. I have some caveats. I want to be able to move under my own power, and I want to know that I'm Mark. And there's a third caveat, which is I know it's a little bit ego-y, but I don't want to look like a dried, shriveled prune at 118.
And don't tell me you want to have sex.
Oh, yeah, there's no question.
See,
I'm a guy.
Yeah. So this is great. I mean, this is great to have that desire. So we have to look at what it's going to take to get people there. Many other people have the same desire. They don't want to live old and sick. They don't mind being old as long as they're healthy and they can move and they can have fun and they can go out and have a life.
More people today that are active as seniors, that are active as in their 70s and 80s. They're skiing, they're skydiving, they're doing all these kinds of things. And my father-in-law, when he hit 70, couldn't wait to go skiing because it was a free lift ticket. And he gets up there, and they changed it. The free lift ticket started at $75. And I think the last time he went, he must have been about 82 or 83. He's now 92.
Wow, that's great.
And he got his free ticket, finally. He and my wife went skiing. And I think that's marvelous.
And how did it go for him?
Oh, very well. He's a great skier. I think if he were to go skiing on a regular basis, he wouldn't have some of the physical problems that he has, because he'd be stretching and
moving. And as you do that, the toxins come out of your joints, because as you move, as you sweat, you're going to liberate your joints, getting that synovial fluid moving around, and you're going to detoxify what's in your joints. So there's more than one reason to exercise, and it's for anti-aging. That's the best reason. You want to stay young, you've got to move it.
What do you do? I
move it.
You move it. Oh boy.
So
there's an opening there, but I won't go there.
I'm so happy. I don't even know what that is, so that's fine.
Okay.
So what I do is I do Pilates. I have a Pilates machine in my home, and I've had it for 20 years, and I do Pilates a lot. I go to the gym, and I do cardiovascular work. So I'll do elliptical and I'll do treadmill. My favorite thing to do, which I don't get actually at this time enough of, is to go spinning. And this is where you can't fall off the bike. It's a stationary bike. You go to a spinning class, and I can do that for at least an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you got to have good cardiovascular health, and you do that by using it. If you don't use it,
you lose it.
You lose it, baby. So I think, what's great. Now, I can't ride a bike because I am not very, I hate to say this, but I'm not as coordinated as I'd like to be, and I fall.
You can't ride a regular bike?
I can ride it in a minute, but I will fall in the next minute.
Oh.
So I'm not that coordinated.
Daryl is very mechanical. He can put
training wheels.
No,
but instead of doing that,
yeah,
I go to spinning classes, and it's like hyped up riding a bike. I mean, you are using it. You are sweating. You are going. You have to strengthen your cardiovascular system. And then, so between that and Pilates and the other little things I do, I love exercise. You have to love it to do it. You have to
That's
find
the
something.
problem.
Have you ever been spinning?
No, I am not. My
You
son
would-
goes to a spinning class.
But I'll bet you'd find it easy.
yeah,
You'd think it
shouldn't-
would be hard, but it's one of the best things you could ever do for your body.
I every now and then I'll take my bike. I have a bike, and I'll have it the tires replaced and all that. And I haven't done this for a couple of years, and have it redone. And I'll get on the bike, and I will be gone for 34 seconds, and think, what was I thinking?
Spinning is easier. You can't fall off the bike. Okay, well, you could, but it would be hard. Okay,
Right.
and you're in a class and they're playing music. Okay, and they're instructing you as you're doing it.
Right. We just did an interview on Late Night Health with a gentleman in, believe it or not, Tasmania, right? And what a fascinating thing. There's videos there, and they're kind of, you as you're writing, you see these videos, and it swerves with you and moves
Yeah, it's
with
like a 3D sort of multi-dimensional real-time.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's very important for people to exercise. It could be one of the most important things, because you take some vitamins and whatever you take,
Yes.
and everybody takes vitamins. Well, you want them to circulate through your body. You want to exercise so you get the best absorption and the best use out of your nutrients. If you're just sitting there like a log all day and taking things, it's going to be completely different than if you're taking things and exercising. Spinning is good, Pilates is good. Pilates is not that aerobic, but yet it can give you a really good workout.
And it
balance.
stretches. It helps
It's
stretches,
stretching and it
stretching.
balances. So
I'd be the one in the spinning class wearing the helmet.
That's funny.
well, you can't really get you can't, if anybody could have fallen off, it would be me.
And you have to be careful. I have a friend who bought herself, she's a producer, and she bought herself a treadmill, right?
Yeah.
And we have one, isn't it still out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's plugged in. And there's a treadmill just outside the studio here. Anyway, she was on it, and her phone rang. So she answered it, lost track,
And
fell, and really
Hurt
damaged
herself.
her knee.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful when you use equipment. But I think one of the things we need to look at is a whole approach for healing. And,
Or rejuvenation.
and rejuvenation. Rejuvenation is exercise. It is taking the right things. It is thinking positive thoughts. And it is having fun. Having fun.
We're really talking about anti-aging, if you will, and keeping your system young and supple so that you can age to 118 or 120
And be healthy.
and be healthy and not being sick.
So when you go to a doctor, you expect the doctor to find out what the problem is or to give you a diagnosis, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So
Any healthcare practitioner.
any health practitioner, you want to know what the problem is. But the thing that that is lacking, I feel, and I may be a little bit judgmental about this, but I worked with a lot of people that have come to me with a diagnosis that was incorrect or not a real clear diagnosis at all. Just take these pills. Take
Oh,
these
I hate
pills,
when
and your
doctors do that.
symptoms are going to go away. They just go by headaches or migraines, or if you're 41 or over, they think everybody's in menopause.
Which is bad for guys.
Which is really bad. So we want to look at how a doctor would diagnose, what you need to do to come up with an answer. Everybody that's listening wants to know why they have a problem, what the problem is, and what could it be caused from.
This is Natural Health Radio. Dr. Teresa Dale and I'm Mark Allen. We're talking today about keeping your system, your body system, think of it as a big major computer from your brain to your toes, healthy and happy. And one way of doing that is by visiting Dr. Dale's wellnesscenter.net. Wellnesscenter.net. There's a lot of information. She just put on some new audio, or about to put on some new audio material. She's got video material, and of course there's written material on the site as well. And it is just jam-packed, loaded with the latest information and research about health. You need to visit wellnesscenter.net. And while you're there, take a look at some of Dr. Dale's homeopathic remedies. Homeopathic remedies, which have been around for hundreds of years. Homeopathy starting in Germany.
And approved by the FDA.
And
registered and approved with the FDA.
Right. So you can take a look at some of her products and find out more by going to wellnesscenter.net. And by the way, there's some tests there that you can take and give yourself that will help you guide your overall health map, if you will, the road to health. Dr. Dale's wellnesscenter.net. Let's talk about, I'm not sure I like the word rejuvenation.
Okay.
Okay. And I know I've said I don't like the word anti-aging. If we don't age, we die.
Right.
Right? It's just.
So another word for rejuvenation could be revitalization.
I like that.
And that's what the title of my book is hormone. Well, it's hormone rejuvenation, but it's really revitalizing your hormones is the name of the book. Revitalizing your hormones. So we can look at something to do with the body. Anything to do with the body is revitalizing it or rejuvenating it, or just getting it to work great like it used to.
When we're in our 20s, are we at our physical prime? Is that as adults?
Some people may think that, but it depends on your lifestyle. If you're active, if you're in sports, if you're really working out, you're probably at your prime whenever you're doing that. Some people don't get there until they're in their 30s, just depending upon what life presents to them and all the challenges that people have in their life, with not having parents, being living, in an orphanage. You have to, when we talk about people, it's a very broad thing. So we have to look at, not everybody should be in their prime at 20 years old. It's okay if you're in your prime when you're 30 years old. You don't have to achieve what everybody else does at the same age, depending upon your lifestyle.
And what about decline? I mean, we hear that, men, by the time they're in their early 30s, their hormones are starting to go down. I made a joke about, men being in menopause, but there really is. There's andropause.
Is andropause.
And it can start in the early 30s.
Right. However, I have known men, and throughout history, you've read about men who in their 80s have conceived children. Now, what makes that huge difference? Well, part of it is belief system and what we're fed on TV. And, the research that oftentimes comes out of certain countries is different. So in Switzerland, for example, when I was there for a long time, because I have family, I'm Swiss, I was there, my cousin said, "Oh, you see that man riding the bike? He's 92. He rides up the Alps every day." What makes somebody do that at 92 years old? It's your belief system, it's your structure, it's how the messages you get in your environment from doctors and from healthcare systems. And if you're told that by the age of 50, you're going to have ED and all these different things, well, by God, you're going to create it because that's what's in your mind.
The mind is, while the skin is the largest organ in our bodies, I think our mind controls it. It controls. It's the computer of the body, right?
The mind is the master.
The master, and it's been proven time and time again in studies that if you believe that the doctor gives you pills, they're going to make you well, that they will make you well, whether it's a supplement or a pharmaceutical. It's 50%. It's of the time is what I've been told that I'm trying to think of what it's called, the placebo effect. The placebo effect.
Yeah, so
and that's what it is.
Right. So I think it will have a much better result with that is if you use natural medicine. But if you're taking meds, then your mind, you could feel better if you think you're going to feel better. But then there's long-term use of the effect of the meds. If you take it more than a month or 2 months, it builds up in the body. So here's a good example. I had a very, very good friend and mentor who thought that she could control the effect of smoking on her body with her mind, because she worked with belief systems. That was her job. She did that for 60 years. Okay, and I would go over to see her, and her arms would be swollen, and because her bracelets would dig in, and I'd say, Virginia, this is from your lack of oxygen in your body from smoking. Oh, no, my mind has it totally under control. A year later, she was dead from lung cancer. So, people take things too far, and they don't understand that there is an effect. So
a physical
effect to what you do, to your lifestyle.
I think in general, I've never been a smoker. I remember stealing my mom's cigarettes and throwing them out, hiding them, because I didn't want her to smoke. Starting in elementary school, they were saying to us, smoking is bad. Mm-hmm. And I believed it. Mm-hmm. I still believe it. Mm-hmm. I think the tobacco industry is, they're terrible. Yet, I think that people have the right to smoke if they want, as long as it's not around me.
Other people where you breathe in secondhand smoke.
Yeah.
So this is really, everybody knows today that smoking is unhealthy to do. I don't care what your mind tells you, it's going to have an effect sooner or later. Okay.
But does that happen? But it doesn't happen to everybody. Some people seem to be able to smoke and live to be 100 years old, and they smoke 2 packs a day.
And I don't
know how they afford it.
But it's very interesting, because when I worked in Texas, I had a rancher who was 94, and he came in to see me because he had a knee ache. He couldn't get up on his horse anymore to herd the cattle, right?
At 94.
Yeah, and his life was still alive, and he smoked cigars and cigarettes and everything. And he said, well, I'm feeling really good, Doc. I heard you were really good at what you do, and you don't use drugs, and I don't go to doctors. I've never even been to a dentist. And it's like, and so I helped him with his leg, a little MSM, and taking a little MSM. And he said, what else should I do? And I said, look, I think you're doing really good. Are you happy? And he says, very happy. My wife and I are very happy. Do you cough? Lungs seem to be okay. Not perfect. But the point is he was happy, and he was happy doing what he loved to do, herding his horses, right?
At 94, mm-hmm. I mean,
riding a horse,
eating hot dogs, smoking a cigarette, and drinking a glass of whiskey every night.
He did eat vegetables. His diet wasn't terrible.
That's good. Mm-hmm. But you're 94 years old. I mean,
so what I'm saying is, imagine if you did eat right.
Right.
Imagine if you were happy. Imagine if everything you were doing what you wanted to do. Imagine that, and how long someone can live. There's different ways to look at this. There's the way to look at it. There's a very, maybe this is an off-putting way to look at it, but some people actually feel that they're going to choose the way that they die, when they want to die, and they're going to be on the earth for as long as they want to, because they're going to take good care of themselves. Some people actually think that, and so thinking that can actually manifest that. And if they're doing what they love to do, and if they're eating well and doing exercising, why wouldn't it work?
That's true. My guest, I'm the guest.
Well,
We're
actually, you have to remember you're in a studio right now,
yes.
and you know it's like everything is fine, and we're both the hosts and we're both guests, so we can
Yes.
take turns with that.
Okay, good. Well, this is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale. I'm Mark Allen. And as we're talking about health and really rejuvenation with all of this, right, you may think maybe you'd like to learn more about health. And there's a way of doing that. The dean of the California College of Natural Medicine is in studio with us right now. Yes.
Where is she?
Where is she? Uh-oh.
I'm here.
You're here. Dr. Teresa Dale has the California College of Natural Medicine. It is a nonprofit, and there are many courses available for you to take. You can even get degrees and certifications from the California College of Natural Medicine.
That's really good. I just want to make a little adjustment on that. We
Yeah.
are a vocational school, so we give certificates.
Okay.
And we give real certificates so that when a person becomes a clinical nutritionist, when they take the training, which is 2.5 years, they become a clinical nutritionist, and then they can practice in the state of California and open up their practice immediately, legally, hang out their sign. So it's really good if you're interested in becoming a health provider and a clinical nutritionist or a homeopathic medical practitioner or a naturopathic practitioner. This is the place for you to check out.
And that's the California College of Natural Medicine, cconm.com, cconm.com for more information. And it's also available, you can pick and choose classes. So if you just wanted to start and see
We
what
have
it was like.
classes just starting, exactly.
Right? So you can do that. cconm.com, the California College of Natural Medicine. I wrote down a word here earlier, and that was detox. And I thought we should talk about detoxification with you, Dr. Dale.
I think that's great. I think that it's what everybody needs and what every single health provider on the planet should be doing with their patient, no matter what they have. And so detoxification will clean out the liver, detoxify the liver, the kidneys, pull toxins and poisons out of the blood, and detoxify the colon so that you've got all the filtering organs working together.
Does everybody, say over the age of 40 or 50, have these poisons in them?
Every single person. If you've lived on the planet, you've had a childhood, you've eaten a lot of sugar, continued in your adult. I mean, I grew up on sugar, right? Because my father was an internationally famous pastry chef. So he'd make the candies and I'd be sticking them in my mouth, one after another.
Ooh,
I mean, it's like,
I bet they tasted good.
oh my God. So the point is that we all have stuff, but that doesn't mean we can't reverse it.
Obviously, sugar is addictive. You and I have talked about that. But in moderation, is sugar okay, or cut it out completely?
I would say white sugar is the enemy of humanity. I would say that try coconut sugar mixed with xylitol, or you can take coconut sugar and stevia mixed together. It tastes really good. You can use...
What about coconut sugar by itself?
Oh, I love it. But it's not that sweet. So people want to mix it with something else to make it a little sweeter, but coconut sugar is my favorite. Agave is also okay, but it's high in fructose. It's not as high as sugar, but it's high in fructose. So
what about on the glycemic scale?
It shouldn't be on the glycemic scale, in my opinion. It's a little bit too sweet.
Agave.
If when working with diabetics and helping them with their nutritional program, Better Success is off of all sugars except for stevia and coconut sugar and maybe a little bit of birch tree sweetener, the real stuff, which is called xylitol. So you can get a synthetic xylitol, or you can get the birch tree xylitol, and it's good. It's
I
sweet.
haven't tried xylitol recently. I'm not a big fan of stevia.
It's a little bitter.
It's got an aftertaste that just bothers me, and I've never liked any of the artificial sweeteners.
Oh no, that's really toxic. So, have you tried the coconut sugar?
Yes, I just recently tried some and I liked it.
Yeah.
And I didn't find it not, too sweet. I don't need it super,
Really
super
sweet.
sweet. Yeah.
Some people use organic evaporated cane sugar, but that is really overused today and too much of it in products. I find that it's much healthier with coconut sugar and stevia mixed together to takes care of that aftertaste, or if coconut sugar is sweet enough, just that. So
I have to try that. I'll have to try that on like oatmeal or something.
Oh, that would be really excellent in oatmeal. And then xylitol, a lot of people don't like it because it can make your bowels your gut a little funky.
Right.
So it can do that. So, but if it's in baked goods, then you're not having that much of it, and you could make like almond flour cookies with coconut sugar and stevia.
You made some chocolate.
Brownies. Yeah, those were almond flour.
Ooh.
I'm not cooking with grains anymore. I'm eating them once in a while, but when I bake, I want to always try to make it better and better with almond flour.
And what about and we want to get rid of sugar in our life so we can have a longer life and a healthier life. Mm-hmm. What about cane sugar itself? I mean, I see things that say made with cane sugar or even real sugar rather than the processed white stuff.
Well, the stuff that's in the packets that says brown sugar is they take white sugar and they mix it with molasses and to make it brown, the color of brown. So it's not good. I would say that evaporated cane sugar, if it was cane sugar from Hawaii, where you were eating it from the cane, great. But the evaporated cane sugar I feel it's too sweet.
So
It's
it needs
much
to be
too
cut
sweet,
down.
but it's cut down tremendously.
And again, on the glycemic scale, would that be way up?
It could be, depending upon if it were from real cane sugar, real cane.
And they make sugar now out of, corn, of course, corn sweeteners.
That's
yeah.
terrible.
Corn sugar, they call it.
Corn syrup, corn sugar, even evaporated cane sugar is not my favorite. So if you want to look at somebody with hypoglycemia or a blood sugar issue, you can stay with stevia, xylitol. You could do the
beet sugar?
The beet sugar or the coconut sugar. Beet sugar, yeah, is good.
Is it? Mm-hmm. I had some roasted beets last night. They were
good.
with cumin.
Oh, nice.
It was delicious.
Wonderful.
It really was. What about the heavy metals? Now, we get those in a variety of ways. We need to get them out of our body. And we get those from fish, I guess. Breathing in smog in Southern California, and you just pointed to fillings. Mm-hmm. Right.
So it can also, the thing about it is that heavy metals is in so many different things. We have mercury in fish. Then we have there's so much wrong with the fish today, like cloning salmon and doing all these kind of things.
Ridiculous.
But the mercury is in the most amount that you're going to get is in industrial use if you work in a factory or if you work in an industry where you're around mercury or heavy metals or lead or cadmium, arsenic, nickel, that kind of thing. Okay, now most of those, except for lead, we're looking at nickel, we're looking at tin, we're looking at mercury and platinum and palladium, and all those things can be in your mouth, in fillings. So you've got the mercury fillings, but then you've got crowns. So you've got the back of the tooth that has for strength, it's nickel. It's a nickel amalgam, and that is very, very bad for the body. So we have to look at the dental thing first and foremost, and your environment as well for heavy metals.
And if you have a crown, you told me you should have it replaced with a bridge.
Well,
even if it's a single tooth?
No, if it's a single tooth, then you just have you just go and ask for a substance that's biocompatible, and they do a blood test to see what materials are biocompatible for your body.
And then we need to, and when we come back in a minute, I'm going to talk about the California College of Natural Medicine again. I want to know how how to get these metals out of your body, the nickel, the mercury in particular, because these are really terrible things.
Terrible. So we're gonna give some solutions here.
Okay, the California College of Natural Medicine. You can find out more information at cconm.com. cconm.com. If you're interested in a career in health, this may be the place just for you. The California College of Natural Medicine has been designed by Dr. Teresa Dale. She's the dean and the founder of the school. And she invites you, as I invite you, to visit cconm.com. There's information there on courses, on classes, as well as the certifications that you can get so that you can practice in the state of California. Visit cconm.com for more information on the California College of Natural Medicine. All right, I go into you, I get a saliva test. You come back with the test and say, Mark, you've got heavy metals. You've got more mercury than you need. How do I get it leached out of my body? I don't want it there.
Right. I don't think anybody would want it there. I think that many people today are aware that we need to remove it. Now, to remove it from your organs without getting it rid of it in your mouth is not good. Okay. First of all, when these mercury fillings are in your mouth, they're soft. So what we did is we went to the Environmental Protection Agency and we got a methyl mercury meter. And way back in Austin, Texas, so many years ago, we went to Dr. Dan's office with his patients and held up the meter to somebody with mercury fillings and had them just chew food. You could see it coming out of their mouth. It measured on the mercury meter right in front, coming out mercury from just chewing on food or chewing gum. Okay, when you talk, a little bit comes out. It is not hard in there. It's very soft. And you need to make sure that you only detox after they're out because they're so soft that you will have more mercury in your body from detoxifying. So you get them out first and get them replaced with a biocompatible substance, maybe, a porcelain.
Daryl, you and I watched a dentist talk to a dentist who did that. We talked to him on video.
Personally, I would not make a recommendation, but what I would want to do is educate people related to this. So you want to detoxify your body and get the metal out, but you want to get the mercury replaced first.
And one of the things that I noticed is that when the dentists are doing this, they're in hazmat suits.
They're in hazmat suits because they're exposed. They're drilling it out and they're exposed to the mercury. And so that means they could breathe it in and get it in their body. How you want to get it out of your body is you can do it several ways. You can take a homeopathic remedy for mercury, pull it out. And that will detoxify it. You can add chlorella to that and detoxify it out. You could go for colonics, which I strongly recommend along with a detox program. And so you would need to use a cleanse that would handle all filtering organs as well as detoxifying and pulling the mercury out of your brain. If it stays there, heavy metals cause Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease. So we need to detoxify it out of the body and you could use chelation, but chelation mostly works on lead. The EDTA is not going to cross the blood-brain barrier and pull it out of your brain. But the homeopathic mercury detox will. It will get it out of the brain.
And can you test to see if it's really coming out?
Sure,
And how
you can
long
do a
does-
urine test before and after, 24-hour urine test. But you'll know if you think, you'll also know it because you'll be thinking clearer.
Wow. How fast does it take? How long does it take?
Well, it depends on the situation. Like, it depends if a person has a health problem or if they just want to get the mercury out. So, to get the mercury out of the body after it's out of the mouth could take 6 months, could take 8 months, could take a year. With some people, if they have their whole mouth full of mercury and all of that is absorbed in their entire system, it could take 2 years.
And the way to do it is to keep detoxing and
you
testing.
You detox for 3 months, you stop, you detox more for 3 months, and usually within 6 months, most people will have it out, unless they have a lot of mercury tattooing on their gum, which is where the mercury stains the gum, and you could see it's dark from the mercury. And then you'd need to detoxify a little longer. It's fortunate and unfortunate that I studied all of this in Germany because it is one of the most important things in getting people well. And you definitely want to go to a trained biological dentist trained by Dr. Hal Huggins, who has the Hal Huggins Institute, who trains all of the good biological dentists. He does what they do in Germany. He's just the best. So if you're trained by him and you've got a certificate to prove it, then that says that you've been put through the ringer and you know how to take care of people.
And it's not cheap. It's not an inexpensive procedure.
It depends. We have some awesome dentists that are biological dentists in Mexico that are trained with Dr. Huggins, are as good as any biological dentist in the United States, and they're 1/10 the cost. And if you could always find some of these things on our websites or call our office if you're interested. But we've got someone great in Mexico.
Well, if you go to wellnesscenter.net, there's information there, and you can even find a phone number. I believe it's an 800 number
Right.
that you can call the office and get
Well,
some information.
all of our members, when you sign up as a member of the Wellness Center, you go into a special area with your own area. You have your own dashboard and with all videos, audios, and protocols for healing the body. You also get a list of biological dentists. If you just want a list, go to Hal Huggins or HugginsInstitute.com. They've got a list of all of the doctors that they've trained, but I always like you to call them to see, did they keep track of who's really doing a great job?
When we interviewed one from just outside of Chicago not long ago, and I'm trying to think of his name. He was a
Well,
very
there's
nice
a
man.
really good one in Chicago. I can't say his name right now, but there is a really good one that
So wherever you are, there are biological dentists.
And so detoxing mercury is so important for proper hormone function, for brain function, for radio function. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
Just seeing if you're listening.
I'm listening. Being in radio is definitely a stress on the brain. This is Natural Health Radio. Along with Dr. Teresa Dale, I'm Mark Allen. Wellnesscenter.net is what we were talking about, and we invite you to go there. There's a lot of information at wellnesscenter.net. What? I'm sorry, you were doing something on your.
I was just. I've got little seeds, little auricular ear seeds in different ear points. There's a point on your ear for all kinds, for every organ in your body and your spine.
Got it.
That you can treat it by putting little acupuncture seeds in, and then you press them.
Cool.
To massage them. There's also there's points on the ear for the heart, for the liver, for the kidneys, for hearing problems, for menopause, for ED, for all different things. There are points on the ear.
Information on this?
Not yet, but I will have actually the solution to these, including where to put them in the ear and how to do it on my website very soon.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
I know that when I get a massage, which I don't do as often as I should, because I think therapeutic massage is a good thing. If nothing else, it feels good, right?
Yes, yes.
And it's relaxing.
I love it.
I do too. And they end, many of the practitioners, massage therapists, end with a rub of the ear, if you will.
Right.
And it's so relaxing. It feels so good.
You've got all of the acupuncture points for every area of the body, all organs, right in your ear. You also have them in your eyes. It's called iridology. So
Right.
you have different areas of the body that you can see. You know, this is a science that's been done in Europe for years. So there's many different ways to help the body, and most of these ways that are available to everyone. You know, people can put these own seeds in their ears just like I did. They're
It's easy?
on little Band-Aid type things, like little adhesive.
they stick
They
on
stay
there.
there.
Oh, wow.
And you press on them to stimulate that little point for whatever it is. I had that on to see how it would work for my sleeping last night, so I had it on all the points for insomnia. I don't have insomnia, but I wish I could, sleep a little bit longer in the morning instead of getting up so early. And I slept till, I think it was 7:45 this morning.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yes. So I slept a lot longer.
That's
why I'm so
terrific.
perky today.
Yeah, you are perky. Perky Dr. Teresa Dale here on Natural Health Radio. We've been talking about detoxing. One of the other things that would seem to me that would be something
Good
that people
question.
should do is water.
Drinking water
clean
is
water.
essential for cleaning out your body. You're not going to detox drinking Cokes or tea, or even organic tea, or lemonade, or juices. You're going to detox from water. That is the key. You can't live without water. You may be able to live without food. For some people do it for 30 days, and they do water fasts where that's all they do is drink water for 2-3 months even. I've seen it. You're going to have a lot of weight lost, and you're going to be weak, but you're not going to be dead. You're going to be thoroughly detoxed. And I don't recommend anyone ever doing that. I'm not saying it for that point, but I'm saying that water, you cannot live without water.
How long can you go without water, the average?
Well, it depends on the person. It depends on their weight. It depends how much water they could store in their body. It depends on so many different things. I think I really don't know the answer to that because it depends on each person. But I would say every day, if you don't have water, then you can have negative results, i.e. you could become more toxic in something. So let's say you ate something today for
Right.
lunch that was toxic to your body without knowing it, and you didn't quite feel good. If you drink a lot of water, it'll flush it out.
That makes sense. And it should be clean water.
Of course.
Not from the tap.
Not toilet water either.
Good one, yes. That's yeah. Well, that would take us in a whole different direction. Right? At the same time, you mentioned drinking clean water that comes from reverse osmosis.
Right, an RO system, and then it's kind of flat and dead, right? It's not alive water because everything's been taken out of it, right?
Right.
But you can actually add minerals to it to liven it up.
And improve the taste?
Yes.
And what about, what about showering? I was at Whole Foods, and
I think it's good,
I saw
Mark.
you showering.
You should do it.
I should do it. Yeah, and Daryl is agreeing with that. Okay, guys. You know what? As we talk about shower, I saw a shower filter.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. You want to have a shower filter on your
To get rid of all the chlorine and
chlorine
junk
and other contaminants.
in the water. And I don't I can taste it, I can smell it and taste it.
Yeah.
What about, speaking of showering, after a shower, putting on deodorant? And a lot of deodorants have aluminum in it. And there have been some studies that connect Alzheimer's with aluminum. Some healthcare people are saying there's no real connection. Others are saying there is. What is your opinion on that, and what do you think about regular deodorants?
It sells more drugs if there's no relationship to heavy metals and aluminum and Alzheimer's. So let's look at that. And my research indicates there's definitely an indication in all heavy metals in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease that crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it lives in your brain because it can't come out unless you open up that pathway, which is what detoxification is for. So deodorant, boy, I know someone that just uses lemon. They cut a slice of lemon, and it's a man, and puts it under,
His
puts
arm.
it in armpits, and he says it works perfectly, lemon or lime, to block odors.
Right.
And he said he could, he admitted to me that if worse came to worse and he got stuck for a couple of days where he couldn't take a shower somewhere, like hiking, there was no odors from it.
Wow.
So that's just lemon. So, you can think it's acid, lemon. And so I use, you can use natural deodorant without anything like that, herbal deodorant.
And soap too.
Soap, yes. Soap works.
Soap works, but deodorant soap does not.
Deodorant soap has toxins in it. See, that's the thing. You want to use a liquid soap or a bar soap, but more liquid is better. That's organic, natural. You can buy it very inexpensively, a big bunch of it, okay, that you can use for your face, your body, and your hair if you're looking at economics.
And we all have to, watch the budget sometimes.
Yes.
Right?
So I think your heavy metals coming from deodorants, coming from aluminum pans, cooking in aluminum pans, leaches into the food. This is a big issue too. People still in restaurants and different things using aluminum. Stainless steel is better, but still nickel is in stainless steel, right? So we like ceramic. We like, I love Le Creuset, which is a French cookware that you can buy. And they have porcelain inside. Really, really good. Really quality.
And what about those, the ones that are the non-stick with things?
The non-stick, they usually have a silicone coating. I'm not convinced that doesn't come off in your food because eventually the non-stick may go away. Where does it go? It goes into you.
And there's scratches on it, so you know that it's coming off.
Yeah. So I really like ceramic or, a ceramic pan. But I think what is the worst would be aluminum pans. Aluminum can be on the outside and in the base, but then it's coated on the inside, with ceramic. So I think that's good as far as not getting in any heavy metals.
My grandmother had a cast iron skillet, right?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And she'd make eggs in it.
Yep.
And
I got one of those thrown at me once.
Oh my God! It didn't hit
that.
you.
Nope,
Wow.
Nope.
But, wow, that's awful.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
it ruined the wall, however.
Yeah, good. Think of what it would have done to your head.
Right.
Are those good? Because those are coming back.
Well, I think cast iron has a lot of positives to it. It's a little bit harder to clean, to clean it. But I think there's some positives, and so I wouldn't have a problem with that.
And better than the aluminum and the non-stick.
So much better. And then there's glass cookware. The Visions by Corningware glass cookware for boiling and for sauces and things like that are very, very good. A lot of people say, it can explode, but they're thick. They take a lot to have them explode.
And
so I think you're right, and we need to look at heavy metals. If we did just that one thing, we'd have a healthier life.
And extend life, too.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dale, thank you very much for joining me and letting me sit in with you today.
Oh, thank you so very much. We had a great time on Natural Health Radio today. I hope all of you enjoy it and understand this is your place for the latest in health freedom. So we will see you next time. Feel free to go to Late Night Health Radio.com.
LateNightHealth.com.
LateNightHealth.com, and check out Mark Allen and see who this wonderful being is. And when you have time, just visit me on wellnesscenter.net. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.